All right, we're ready for the text that's going to appear inside the second content box. This text, of course, is going to come out of Illustrator as it did previously. What we're going to do, though, before we get over to Illustrator is just set ourselves up here inside Photoshop. What I'd like you to do is simply select Layer 2 here inside the Layers panel. Well, at least mine's called Layer 2. This is the layer that contains the photo that we just went and inserted. And by the way, you can go and rename your layers if you want. I'm just going to leave the default names there just for the sake of time. I might go back and rename them in just a little bit. But in any regard, most importantly, make sure that you have the layer that contains the second content box's photograph selected inside the Layers panel. Perfect. All right, now let's head over to Illustrator. This is where we left off inside Illustrator. Now, previously, what we had done is it took a little bit of time, but we got the appearance, the look and feel for the text there that reads "The Experience" applied there, the double stroke, and then, of course, the green fill as well. Okay? Now, what I want to do is I want to show you a really cool Illustrator trick for really speeding things up and making things a little bit more efficient here inside Illustrator. The next piece of text that we want to use is found just beneath the experience, tickets and rates. This is the second piece of text for the second content box. Now, what we could do is we could select tickets and rates here, and then we could go to work inside the swatches panel and inside the appearance panel to apply the same look and feel to this object as we had set up previously. But there's a much more efficient way to work if we were to make use of something in Illustrator called graphic styles. Have you heard of graphic styles in Illustrator before? They're really, really cool. Essentially what we can do is we can save an object's appearance, any effects or fills and strokes and things like that, and we can apply the same appearance, the same effect to other Illustrator objects, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take the effect that we applied to the experience and I'm going to save it as this thing called a graphic style, and then we'll apply it to tickets and rates, okay? So this is going to be pretty cool. You may have to head to your window menu and look for graphic styles. I happen to have the graphic styles panel sitting there handy right beside the appearance panel, so you might see this guy kicking around over on the right-hand side. If so, go ahead and grab him, or again, of course, head to your window menu if you don't see him. Now, the graphic styles panel is where we can save all of our graphic styles. To create a new graphic style or to save an appearance, as we want to do here, it's really, really easy. I'm going to select the object that is formatted in the way that I want here, of course, the experience. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take this object and drag and drop them literally right into the graphic styles panel, just like that. That's all there is to it. And notice we get this new graphic style added to the graphic styles panel. All right, good stuff. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and select a new object, tickets and rates, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to single click on the new graphic style that you and I created inside the graphic styles panel, and voila, there we go. There's our formatted object. How do you like that? Super fast, super easy to use. I love graphic styles inside Illustrator, and I've been waiting for a chance to show them to you. All right, now we know what to do next. We're going to take the tickets and rates text here, select them, and copy them, Controller-Command-C. I will flip back over to Photoshop and paste, Controller-Command-V. I'm going to paste this in as a smart object. I'll go ahead and click on OK, and I'll wait for the object to load in here. Now, whenever you're pasting content into a Photoshop file or moving content into a Photoshop file, we've seen this a number of times. You know, initially it's kind of messy, right? You got to kind of get your bearings here. So I had to zoom way out, and then I had to hold down Shift and scale down my text there, and then I'm going to have to zoom back in here and kind of reposition things and, you know, kind of get myself organized here. So it's usually a bit of fiddling until we can get things under control here. So something like that is, I think, what I want. I'm just trying to eyeball the top of the experience with the top of tickets and rates, you know, something like that. I want to center them inside the photo as well. So, you know, you can sit here and fiddle for a minute if you want in terms of, you know, getting the position set the way you want. I might come back and fiddle with this a little bit, but something like this anyway is what we're after. I'll hit Enter on my keyboard to lock in that change. Perfect. And of course, over inside the Layers panel, there's our Vector Smart object. Okay, So the last thing that I'm going to do here before we move on is I'm going to grab the Vector Smart Object and the photo and the cookie cutter layer and let's see, the content box too. All these are layers here, and I'm going to group them. So I'll just grab them all there, just holding down either Control or Command, or Shift would work as well. And then Control or Command G on my keyboard to group everything into a layer folder there. And then I'll call this Content Box 2. There we go. So now, with that out of the way, we can move on to the third and final content box, Content Box 3.